Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Hello, chickens. This is the fabulous Adam Richard, and I have a theory. Oh, hello, chickens. It's time to look back on The Fury from the Deep, the animated reconstruction of the Patrick Troughton six episodes? I can't even... Are they parts? Are they episodes? What are they? Sometimes they say parts, sometimes they say episode at the start. I can't keep up. Anyway, I had a lot of fun watching this. And, you know, it's been a long time coming. It's something I'd wanted to see for ages. But I'm interested to see how everyone else felt about it. Ancient Spoonbill must be ancient because they said that scared the bejesus out of me back when I was a kid. I was worried about what might come up the plug hole at bath time for months. And now I find that the only surviving footage is a bit that ABC cut out for being too scary. Ooh. And then grimacing face. There were 3 emojis in there. Oh, wow. I would love to have seen those. I was not born, sadly. But yeah, like when I was a kid, I just used to imagine how amazing 60s Doctor Who must have been. And then we finally got to see some, like in the 80s, they started repeating black and white ones because they refused to repeat black and white ones in all of the 70s because colour TV was new. And even though I was watching black and white television, like apparently you couldn't show black and white show. Anyway, it was a time. James has said, theory is all froth these days. Oh, see, because I've been posting pictures of my Patrick Troughton dolly in bubble bath, and this is his reference to that. He does say, on a more constructive note, the Battle of the Giants reminded me of all the Norse malarkey in The Curse of Fenric. Oh! Fury from the Deep takes place on the shores of the North Sea. Oh, yes, as does Curse of Fenric. So my theory is that the Doctor was referencing the battles between the giants, the Jotnar, and the gods in Norse mythology. Oh, I see. Greek mythology would also work, but Norse fits better. It does. It's the North Sea, and, you know, they were just over there. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They go to England. Spoilers, but the Vikings did go to England. Bonus theory, the seaweed monster is a manifestation of Fenric. Oh, that is a good one, James. Another move in the great game between Fenric and the Doctor with a timey twist. This takes place after the events of Fenric in Earth's timeline, when Fenric was supposedly destroyed. A future echo, a faded echo, or were reports of Fenric's death exaggerated? Ooh, I mean, I guess part of it is that, the Doctor and the Master seem to meet in their own timeline, even though they're meeting in different times. So maybe, I mean, except for the World Enough and Time episode where there's 2 masters, one of them being Missy. But like maybe what happens is the Doctor meets Fenric in various timelines, depending wherever he is, and this was a manifestation. Or alternatively, like, you know, my other wackadoodle theory, where when the Doctor doesn't interfere, a little bit of an interference. So maybe the second Doctor met the monstrous seaweed and thought, hang on, I think there's something behind the monstrous seaweed. Then when he was the 7th Doctor, who went back and tied up a whole bunch of loose ends that had been left, you know, flapping in the breeze, he's gone to go, I'm going to deal with this before it becomes a problem of killer seaweed. So maybe he's, you know, wiped out his own timeline at some point. It's plausible. I mean, you know, in the Pandorica episodes, like the entire timeline of the universe was wiped out and rebooted. So Who knows? Anyway, I love that. I love that the seaweed could be an extension of Fenric. Like, it makes it feel less just wacky seaweed. Also, it explains the possession thing, because, you know, the girls and the soldiers that get possessed by the Fenric stuff, like from underwater. Oh yeah, I like this. I like it. Steve, who also commented on my Patrick Troughton bubble bath dolly, said, "I thought the Xeraphon were back." Which is terrified face emoji, laughing emoji, love heart emoji. So yeah, the Xeraphon from Time Flight, which is a Peter Davison episode that is not okay. Should we watch it? It's really problematic for a number of reasons. Yeah, maybe that should be the next. All right, that'll be the one I watch in the next episode. I'm watching Time Flight. I was going to watch the Fires of Pompeii for Loki. All right, I'll do Fires of Pompeii because we've all been watching Loki. Some of you probably haven't been watching it. And there was a volcano episode, and it all kind of feels like, well, this is where the kind of Dr. Link comes from. So we'll watch Fires of Pompeii and then go straight into Time Flight. So Fires of Pompeii with David Tennant, Time Flight with Peter Davison. Peter also referred to my Patrick Troughton dolly bubble bath photo by saying, "What's Patrick doing in your bathroom? Towels, bubbles? Is there something you need to tell us?" I don't know what you got. That's my friend Peter, who sends me weird texts. Matt says he's watched the animated one, and he says the cartoon seaweed looks like a booger that's picked up hair from a carpet. Oh, so it looks like an anchovy. I've always thought anchovies on pizza look like someone's dropped it in the carpet and then turned it back over and gone, yeah, that'll do. Just sprinkle a bit of salt on the carpety bits. No one will know. Anyway, he has said this episode is Doctor Who and the Mr. Tickle people meet the hairy bogey fronds. Proper title for Fury from the Deep. Oh, because the animated arms on some of the characters, like the way they've rigged them, they just become too long when they're gesticulating. Like, they start to flap around, and they do have very long arms, like Mr. Tickle. I do agree with you, Matt. To some degree. He says, I wasn't familiar with Fury before this, hadn't read the book or anything. What did come as a surprise was Victoria's departure. Not that it happened, but how they handled it, because the classic series mostly used to do, you off then? Okay, bye. But it was really seeded through the story. She was tired, emotional, upset. It was really up there for me with that Tomb of the Cybermen chat. Oh, yeah. That beautiful conversation between the Doctor and Victoria during the Tomb of the Cybermen, where she's just lost everyone she's ever known, and it's their first adventure together, and then they end up in the Tomb of the Cybermen. Also, very exciting that I know it's probably a few weeks ago now, but it's kind of new information for me here in the future. But Evil of the Daleks is being animated, so we're going to get like a full kind of, I think that almost the entire run of Victoria stories, essentially. Like, is that all of them then that we'll be able to access? I'm just trying to think if there are any of hers missing. Oh no, the Abominable Snowman, I think, is still in a hole somewhere. Anyway, like, that's like her opening story, her closing story's now been done. This will be amazing. Like, I'm quite excited about that, because I think she was a great character. But yeah, so Matt goes on to say the helicopter seaweed front scene. You know, the scene where they made it into an action scene, but originally it was just a wacky helicopter scene. He says, I don't like that what was intended as a bit of fun and humour has been reinterpreted as an action scene. See, I get where you're going, but, you know, he says he's not a big fan of the animations. He'd prefer they were accurate representations of what was filmed. Not Gary Russell trying to correct what he doesn't like alongside his millionth let's fix this plot hole book. He does love to fix a plot hole. How long till we get Doctor Who and the IKEA Visit of Destiny, where Gary says, I thought it was important to fill the gap and explain where the Doctor got his hat stand. Matt, that is very bitchy but very funny. All right, next episode, we're going to Pompeii with the Doctor and Donna. Please jump along. You can join me at patreon.com/Adam Richard.
Acast powers some of the world's best podcasts. Here's a show we recommend.
I'm Melissa Ambrosini, host of The Melissa Ambrosini Show. Each week I bring you an inspiring interview with thought leaders and experts from around the globe. With guests such as Jay Shetty, Marianne Williamson, Erin Brockovich, Rich Roll, Marie Folio, The Medical Medium, and many more. Each episode will motivate you to upgrade all areas of your life. Simply search for Melissa Ambrosini in your favorite podcast app and subscribe today.
Acast
recommends.